Of course, if somebody needs 12 clips or 20 clips in his template, they question if it's not better to start using solution like Blend with the video engine. It will be more effective, and you will not face a problem with proper buffering and uncaching the clips in the system. So right now, after I done all configuration, this is quite summary in showing me what configuration do I have. There is the main board, and I see that the insertion first is a field from the dual link, insertion 2 is a key from the dual link, and then insertion 3 I have grab in the color, and 4 grab in the color. Keep in mind it's already our mixing, which we selected. And then I have second board, we see 2 video insertion, both grab in color, no dual links. And that's all basically. So now we can just press save. And we have configuration. Where it's safe? It's saving on the G drive. As I mentioned, one of the most important places in the whole workflow. This is the same G drive when we are saving all the scenes from the 3D Designer, production from the 3D Play. And we have also a small folder called config, when the whole configuration of HDVG is placed. This is quite important because if that is external drive storage or wherever, we are restarting the HDVG. HDVG doesn't have access to that drive and this file. It means that it will run by default in the SD mode without any buffers, general configuration, basically nothing. So because the path in the Linux render engine to access this file could be changed, we are quite often changing that to internal Linux system drive. Of course, then we need to remember that to edit that file, we need to copy it to the Windows machine, change the configuration, save the file, and then move it to the Linux side again. But at least we are safe that even if we restart the HDVG and none of the workstation in the network are available together with the server, still the machine will wake up and the render engine will start with the proper configuration. And then wherever Maestro 3D Play are ready, we can just connect them, load the graphics, and start the playout. We don't need to repeat the restart procedure, at least the render engine again. Are there any questions about the HDVG control panel? Because if not, I will just jump to the audio panel. That will be quite short. And that it will be all for today. Moshe, do we have some questions? Because I don't see them right now.
Sorry, no, I don't see any question. Guys, if you have some question, please type them right now and press enter. Or raise your hand, use the raise hand icon. So we'll wait for question even if you don't.
I can repeat slowly some of the parts. Just want to give you the heads up, those who will join the lab. That will be one of the first tasks which you will have. Just to install the software, which we talk about today, and put the configuration of the HDVG machine. So if something looks not clear for you, or I go too fast with some parts, just let me know.
Okay, so it looks that everyone is
perfect.
Good.
It will be very good, Lance. Okay. So the next thing is the audio panel. As you can see, all programs or add folder, we have all the stuff, all the software which is installed. We can check the dongles ID as I showed you on the screenshot before, and right after the dongles ID we have audio panel. It just indicates me that none of the configuration was saved yet. As you see, the same as on my screenshot in the slides, we have configuration. It's the 8 of them because we are supporting 8 stereo channels or 16 mono channels in the render engine on HDVG. So each of them could be controlled separately, or we can redirect the audio from the clip on from video source to dedicated channel, depend of the needs. And yeah, At the beginning, all of them are exactly the same. Yes, as I mentioned you, because one of the presets will be loaded by default, we chose that that will be the first one. Let's say that for the safety reason, let's make sure that with the first preset, I don't want to hear any audio from any video insertions. Then going to the second tab. Also no audio clips, but I would like to hear the mixing source, which is playing in my background all the time. So of course there is one more option, master mute. Yeah, of course this needs to be disabled to have any audio at all on the system. All those settings we did just for the first audio channel on the HDVG output. As I mentioned you, there's 8 of them. And usually that's what is enough, yes, because the first one is what is used. If we have customer which for some reason is not hearing our audio on the first channel or not on the old channels, but he wants the dedicated 4th and 6th channel for that, then of course we can mute all others and then select that the 6th one should be unmute and repeat the settings. So usually that is not needed. Settings only for the first one are enough. But in case if the customer is reporting some of the problem or he wants to use our signal in his mixer and then he have other sources on the audio channels, then of course we can change that. So right now we are just pressing save. Right now those options are saved. We have first, then we have second preset. Please make sure that all of them are mute by default. So we unmuted them. And we are choosing that the second preset will play just the video insertion 1. So even if 2 others are connected and have some video and audio, I will not hear them. Yes, I don't want the audio to interfering between the signals. The same in that case, I can also mute the mixing channel. So I have already 2 presets. I can save it and let's say that's enough. Of course, I have a bit more flexibility. If I have very complex solution with a lot of audio channels and the 8 presets are not enough for me, both Maestro and 3D Play can also load the preset file with the presets. So if I will choose, of course, again on the G and the config file, audio preset, example 2, and store totally different settings in the second file from both 3D Play and Maestro, I can reload second file and select the presets which are saved in the second file. Yeah, so we are not limited to the one file. And what we see on the bottom also is a transition time. Yes, it's a time, right now it's a 1 second when I'm changing the settings. For example, from the second to the first, when I'm muting the video insertion, it will not be just single frame cutout and the silence. The voice will just decrease slowly until we reach the mute. Time of that transition we can set up. And it could be different for each channel and for each preset. Also by default, we see that we have like 50% here on the voice level. We can of course increase it, separate the left and right channel, and the volume could be selected and set up separately for each video insertion, audio clips, and mixing source. Please just make sure that you're aware that audio clips, although it's described like that, is also working for the video clips with audio path. Yeah, so if we are using some MP4 or MOV in our templates as a part of the ForDesigner templates, and we are using audio clips there, this is the setting which will make sure if that the audio will be played or not, and with what voice level. Any question about the audio settings?
Yes, there is one question.
Yeah.
The question is there a routine option for audio inputs, like having input 1 with a group of audio channels from input 2 or 3?
No, there is not. It depends basically. We are setting up wherever graphic designer will figure out. Yes. We need to remember that most of the configuration is coming from how the scene was designed in the 4Designer and then how the logic was done in the 3D Player Maestro. So if the scenario is that they want to have silent audio for all 3 video insertions because they're presenting what will be playing next in the TV channel, that's how the preset we need to prepare for them. If they want to have always just a single audio and changing from mixing to the video insertion 1 and 2, then we also preparing the presets how it was. Yes, so the number of the presets or are the channels are not really, have no rules and no good practice for the number of video insertions. Because all of that is at the end transparent for the customers. Yes, if we will finish production in the 3D Player Maestro, they will at the end receive menu or drop down. Mute 1, mute 2, mute 3, and what will be there in the settings with presets, it will add all of that options. Is depending from the graphic specialist which will do production, or from the customer which are changing the settings. One important thing which we need to remember about the audio, it's also about the video, but video usually is not such noticeable. Is the different with the delays. All video insertions, I mentioned those which we can map as a video textures on objects. We are delayed by almost 2.5 frames. That's the time which we need. That's a fixed time, and that's the time which we need to map them on the object. Yes. Mixing video source. So if we'll select that we want to use them as in my control panel, it means that the last physical slot will be as a mixing input. It will play video in the background. We are not doing nothing with that signals, yes? We don't need to make any calculation to map on the project, on the object. So that one is played without any delay at all. So if we will connect the same signal to the video insertion 1 and to the mixing input, we'll hear the echo in the output of the machine. Yes, because the both audio, video too, but as I mentioned, video is not always noticeable. Both audio will not be really sync. Yes, always the audio from the video insertion will be delayed by 2.5 frames, depending on the version. So please also mention that if you are not seeing problem from the customers, that the signal is not clear, that they hear some echo and so on, 90% that's the case. Yes, they enable both because it's the same signal connected, but the effect is quite